Hello everyone, it's Kay here, and I'm here today because I've just signed up for hashtag DWP100. Now you might be wondering what that is, and basically it is a challenge to make 100 items, and the instigator of the challenge is Dances with Pitbulls here on YouTube. It's not a new thing. Several people hold these challenges, it appears, a couple of times each year, but I have never actually been in the position where I have felt I wanted to participate. But as I'm not still in the place where I'm making significant projects, shall we say, or regular projects, I thought it might just help me a little bit to get back on the road to Damascus, so to speak, because even though I'm not crafting, I'm still finding that I'm buying, and one of the glorious things about this particular challenge is the only thing you're allowed to buy is adhesive glue. And that said, it does then mean that you use anything that you've already got in your stash, which for me is amazing, because I have, as I say, continued to buy even though I've not particularly been making. So thank you, Jer, Little Snippets, who I learnt of this challenge from first. Jer herself is actually taking part and has set herself somewhat of a goal. I am a little bit concerned because it is a huge thing to undertake. Even supposing you completed in 6 months, that's still amounting to a different project every other day, and I do have holiday coming up and so on where I won't be home, so that puts the pressure on even more. Gladly, you actually don't have to complete. If you don't reach the target, nothing is actually lost. So without further ado, I'm going to show you 3 things that I've done on the road to starting this challenge. And the first thing I've done, following in Amanda Charlesworth's footsteps, who is currently making flowers, I've made an array of blooms. Now sadly, these are only counting as one of the 100 because they are in this little sameness area, if you like, but they are an absolute pleasure to do. Amanda does a beautiful tutorial for them. I have packaged them so as they don't get dusty. You might be saying, well, what are you going to do with all of these things once they're done? And what I'm planning to do is a series of giveaways en route, because I really don't want to have lots and lots of things cluttering up the little bit of craft space that I've got. So there will be benefits all round to following and supporting me in this endeavour, and I will need support. I will need some ideas from my crafty friends out there, and if there's something in particular that you might like to see me do, then do by all means leave a message under the video, and I will endeavour to include that in my 100 nibbly bits. So that in its glory is one effort. So I'll push those out of the way, but I will keep a couple here so that you can see what I'm about. So that is number 1. And one project constitutes, for example, 1080C perhaps, or 580C that you've made in a given theme. As long as you change the theme, you could do 100 ATCs and that would be the challenge met. But I have such a lot of stuff to use and make use of that I've decided to vary it as much as I possibly can. So the next thing I made were these two little gift boxes, which I'm hoping are clear on the camera. They're quite small, as you can see. They just fit into my hand here. It's I believe I bought them at the Range a long time ago, and it is like a matchbox, and I think it was £2 for £1. And what I've done is painted them on the outside with a metallic paint, added a little bit of lace, the family sentiment, some tiny little flowers that I've distressed and inked, and then some cutouts. And inside, although these were made before, I've added some magnetic pegs, and I thought, well, that makes quite a nice little gift as it stands. So that was the first one that I did, with family and butterflies and flatback pearls. And then the second one I did in the same vein but with different decoration, these lovely little iridescent drops, the little bird here, the other half of the doily that I cut out from the other side, and these little wooden hearts from Fernley, a little bit of bling there just to open and close the box with, which I hope, oh, I might have to stick that down a little bit harder. And then there are more of the metallic pegs inside, and this one has a little brad, which I think is probably the better option, but you know, I opened the packet, took one of the brads out, put the packet down, and it's lost, so I have to find them out again and continue. So there is project number 2 of 100, which I'm delighted with. And then the third thing, because as a lot of you know, I make beads, jewellery as well. I'd previously downloaded this Bali bangle from Seed Beads and More on Facebook, which I'm a member of, and the design is by Sabine Lippert, who I've had dealings with in the past and made from her design jewellery. I've got a book of hers here too, and she really does do the most lovely projects. This is called the Bali bangle, and it is made up with Delica beads, size 11, and some nice crystal beads. And here it is. I'm calling this one Coffee Mocha because that's what the colours remind me of. There's a really lovely chocolate brown here, and then the mocha is this goldy iridescent. I'm hoping you can see the individual beads here. Everything here is hand sewn following Sabine's pattern. I have altered the little bit in the centre here because I didn't want anything that was going to be too proud and catch on clothing and so on. So I have altered that little bit and just used these lovely 4mm crystal beads, and it just literally goes over the arm like this, and apparently they're supposed to be worn layered, so you'd have as many on your wrist as you found to be comfortable. But I actually, for me, like it as it sits, just one at a time. I think, you know, you can overdo dressing up jewellery, and for me more than one would be too much. But that is the third of my makes for the hashtag DWP 100 challenge. So I hope you've enjoyed this and are prepared to encourage and support my future videos. I apologise to anyone who's looking for anything a little bit more advantageous, but it's just not in me. I'm hoping as I go along with this and I banish some of whatever it is that's blocked in my system, things will get a little bit better. I am probably going to make a couple more of these and put them on my beady page so that I can sell a few on at a later date, but as it stands, that's me, and that's my first 3 projects on my way to 100, only 97 to go. So saying that very, very quickly, I will say thank you as always for sharing this time with me, and happy crafting everyone. Take care for now. Bye bye.